All right, everybody, thank you for being patient with us. Our last competitor for today, rounding off round one before we proceed into the finals, is the reigning U.S. Brewers Cup champion, representing Onyx Coffee Lab from Rogers, Arkansas, Elika Liftee, everybody.
Thanks, Sierra. Oh, I'm on.
Hello again.
Hello, good to see you. Hi. Hello, good to see you.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Hi.
Hi. All right. Are we situated? Perfect. Can we test my music, please? Okay. Judges, are you ready? Perfect. And time. Welcome, judges. My name is Elika. I'm from Onyx Coffee Lab, and I've built relationships in this industry to curate your coffee experience. I bring a unique blend of coffees, new drippers, tools, and techniques to brew each of you the best cup of coffee I've ever tasted. In 2019, I met Julian Olguin and Fernando Oca from Immaculata Coffee Farms in Colombia. I've brewed their coffees for over 3 years, and there are two I've learned are a perfect complement. I'm excited to share a blend of their Cafea Eugenioides and Sudan Rumé. Eugenioides is the ancestor to Arabica, and I love its real fruit sweetness. And while it lacks both caffeine and bitterness, it also lacks a vibrant acidity. Sudan Rumé is a variety with high resistance to disease, and I love its complex flavor, but it can have a delicate mouthfeel. Julian processes these coffees with carbonic maceration, sealing the cherries in CO2-filled stainless steel tanks for 7 to 8 days. This slow and controlled fermentation process breaks down those nutrients to impart tropical fruit flavors while maintaining those varietal traits and a clean cup. Eugenioides provides a foundation of sweetness in my blend, and Sudan Rumé brings brightness and complexity. The processing brings a harmonious flavor profile, while my brewing brings body and balances the strengths of each coffee. As I prepared this blend, there wasn't a dripper that allowed me to control my brewing variables exactly how I wanted, so I could serve you the cup that I envisioned. Today, I'm excited to share my signature MK dripper. The MK dripper is handmade in Copenhagen with a familiar flat bottom shape. I chose this because it creates a short and flat brew bed, allowing me to extract all potential body and sweetness evenly. My signature dripper has larger holes than the original MK. At nearly 7 times the size of a Kalita Wave, my flow rate is closer to a cone dripper. This fast flow and control lets me determine the balance of acidity and flavor in your cup. I'm pairing my dripper with Seaborist flat filters from Barcelona. These filters complement my dripper by eliminating waves and adhering to the smooth sides of my dripper. This accentuates that short and flat brew bed and reduces the bypass of water out the sides of the paper. This increases my extraction efficiency for more consistent flavor into each of your cups. My recipe today is 10 grams of each coffee, brewed with only 250 mils of 203 Fahrenheit water for an ideal flavor balance and texture. My final tool is the Mellow Drip Lift. This tool rests on top of my drippers and directs the force of my kettle downwards in a cascade of droplets. These droplets eliminate the particle discharge that masks our palates, and therefore it increases your flavor perception. I'm pouring in 5 total pours of 50 mils each every 45 seconds. With 80% of that water poured through this dish, and the remainder poured through this inner ring to saturate your coffee fully. Now, I have to brew each of these coffees differently. Eugenioides has low solubility, and tastes more fruity and sweet at at low extractions. Sudan Rumé is easily soluble and tastes more complex at high extractions. I'm leaning into these differences by dosing Eugeenoides at the bottom of my dripper and Sudan Rumé at the top. The controlled agitation of the mellow drip, combined with a flat brew bed, keeps the integrity of my layers throughout the brewing process, allowing me to achieve the optimal extraction for each coffee simultaneously. The fresh, hot water hits our top layer of finely ground Sudan Rumé first, quickly extracting our acids and floral flavors. This saturated water then percolates through our Eugeenoides, reducing our extraction and pulling more sweetness and fruity esters into your cup. I discovered that layering in this manner actually enhanced the tropical flavors to a level that I didn't experience in either coffee individually. And that's when I knew I had to serve you this coffee. It was greater than the sum of its parts. With this method, I'm achieving optimal extraction for 2 different coffees, and our tight ratio of 1 to 12.5 balances the high sweetness of the Eugeenoides with complexity and body. I'm serving you today in the Aurea Sense cup, also from MK Ceramics. This cup has a taper and flare at the lip, which increases your perception of sweetness for a pleasant drinking experience. Our first impression of this Immaculata blend will be the aroma. When you smell this coffee, you'll smell papaya, stewed strawberries, and grilled pineapple. The palate of this coffee is an array of fresh and cooked fruits. You'll taste cherry hibiscus tea, which is a red fruit flavored floral tea, as well as papaya throughout each flavor transition. In addition, while hot, you're going to taste guava nectar. And a hint of ripe strawberry. When the coffee is warm, it brightens and sweetens. You'll taste caramelized peach. And the cup tastes sweetened with a floral honey. When your coffee is at its coolest, it brightens further. You'll taste tropical fruit punch and watermelon. The aftertaste is long and sweet, beginning when hot with ripe cantaloupe and grilled pineapple. Turning when cool to watermelon and red fruit punch, a combination which they call it's like a Hawaiian fruit punch in the aftertaste. The acidity is medium in intensity. and citric. Sweet and tart, like stone fruit. Gently intensifying as your coffee cools and becoming more complex. Acetic and tartaric, like pineapple shrub. The body is medium to heavy. Silky soft and coating. Becoming breathy like menthol in the finish. Judges, I've built my relationships in this industry. I've learned, I've grown, and I'm excited to share the fruits of my labor. A cup of coffee curated just for you. Thank you so much. Please continue to evaluate and enjoy. Thank you, judges. Time.
And that was Elika Liftee. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to like bend down a little.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
There we go.
I know, you're working with me here. So, I mean, not your first rodeo.
No, my fourth rodeo.
Your
you could
fourth
say.
rodeo. And
Yeah.
how different is it from the rest of the rodeos today?
It feels exactly the same.
Tell us a little bit more about, what you had to go through to kind of come back on stage today. You're obviously reigning champ, big title to defend.
It is. The U.S. market is large. It's really tough to defend in the best of times, let alone 2-year gap in competition. But I felt like I still have not only more left on the tank, but more things that I've learned from this experience. And when you have wonderful coffees, I just felt like I'd pieced together so many things over the years that I really wanted the opportunity to showcase beautiful coffees in exactly the way I wanted to brew them. And just brew the most excellent cup of coffee that I could.
And speaking of, relationships, is there anybody here you want to thank in your journey to defending the title?
Absolutely. Team Onyx Coffee Lab is enormous and wonderful. I love Gabe. Thank you, Gabe. Dylan Siemens was an enormous help. My family has been super supportive. My wife, my in-laws, they're probably watching the live stream on my phone right now. And they're probably more supportive than I communicate to, because I'm very bad with my phone and everything. So Dylan is probably receiving lots of text messages that maybe he would respond to for me, because I might not.
Sounds like a plan. You always have a team behind you. Well,
Yeah,
everybody.
absolutely.
Elika
Every
Liftee.
step.
Oh, sorry. I
No.
cut you off there. Well, there you go. Elika Liftee, everybody. Big round of
Thanks,
applause.
Sarah.
All right. So that was our last competitor of round one. We will be doing the finals announcements on the barista stage 5:45. So stay tuned. The judges are now deliberating, and we'll see you back shortly.